Hi, everyone. Today on Dropping Jewels, we have our guest, DJ Starr, who is going to be walking us through his journey of real estate and how he got started and everything else. So, DJ, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you today?
Thank you for having me, Julie. This is awesome.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
And you got your little Santa hat on?
Yeah, I'm a little Santa. I got to be a little bit festive.
Holiday spirit, yeah.
Yes.
Did you have a good holiday?
I sure did. How about yourself? What did you do today?
New Year's, we didn't do a whole lot. We went to a comedian last night and then got home early. Mm-hmm. And today we mostly cleaned the house.
Oh, very exciting. Got to have a clean house for the new year.
Yeah. Kind of a new year, new fresh start, get rid of some crap, right?
Mm-hmm. Any superstitions? Like, for example, you don't want to do this on New Year's Day because this happens or anything? No? Or you got to have clean clean sheets, clean everything? Is that your family tradition?
We didn't do the clean sheets thing, no. We got access to, so for me, I like to be outside as much as I can. So I actually use my computer and stuff outside.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
But in the wintertime, you can't really do that. So I go back up to my office where I have two screens. Mm-hmm. And I haven't used it since probably last winter. So stuff piles up there. So I unburied my desk so that I can go use the two screens.
So you can work now. Yeah. The cold winters in Chicago.
That's right.
That's right. So tell us why real estate? What gave you the real estate bug?
So it's funny because I've known for a while like I need to do it, and I've wanted to do it for a while, but I didn't really know where to start, you know. Mm-hmm. And truth be told, I got into real estate after another fallout from a different business venture with a friend that it didn't work out, in the sense that I lost my shirt a bit, not working with contracts. But through that venture, I learned the joy of entrepreneurship and like doing something for yourself. Mm-hmm. And even though it was only a couple of months, like it was very creative. You know, I got to be hands-on, and the thing is, it worked, right? Sure. The business itself was successful, so it kind of gave me some confidence that I can do this. And real estate seems like kind of a straightforward business. And so when things fell through with my contract, right? Mm-hmm. I was looking through emails and like seeing the Pace Morby stuff again. And it's like, okay, like, let me see what this is about. And so I watched one of the at the time it was the Elephant Challenge. Mm-hmm. And I forget the student's name, but it was kind of Dawn Walker helping her learn things. Mm-hmm. And I told this to Dawn. Actually, okay, it's kind of a long story, but
we got time.
So yeah, I watched the Elephant Challenge, and I saw that it wasn't just Pace selling the thing; it was, you know, a community behind it of people that are willing to help each other. And so that was back, I think, in February of 2024. And so by the end of that month, I joined Sub 2. And like immediately after that, like the next month was Squad Up Summit. So I joined Sub 2. I made plans to go to the summit. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, crap. There's a ton of stuff to learn. And
that's right.
This is a good opportunity to network with the community, right? So I'm like, I've never done this type of networking before. I wanted to learn how to do it. I had trouble, honestly. I live in Chicago. I had trouble finding like the community out here, because at the time there was some events, but like once a month, and it just wasn't as established as it is now. Nita Patel's doing a great job out here.
Shout out to Nita.
Johnny. Shout out. Jim Vani's running some meetups too, so like they're getting a lot of traction out this way.
All right, shout out to Nita and Jim.
That's right. Yeah. And we're all becoming good friends, so that's great.
Mhm.
But so at the time, I actually went to a meetup in St. Louis, and I flew myself down there because I'm like, I gotta practice before I squat up, right? I'm like,
That's right.
I gotta. And now they all say like, oh, what do you have? What do you need? And this kind of thing. And,
Mhm.
you know, getting much better at networking and talking to
Mhm.
people. But so I flew down to St. Louis for a meetup they had there. And Blake Whiting was the only person I knew there. And it's because we had been kind of connecting in the Facebook group.
Mhm.
And so it was nice to have a familiar face, but I was super nervous going in there and like, because it wasn't like just a sub 2 event. It was all real estate investors. So I'm like all nervous, but it
Mhm.
was fine. Like I talked to a couple people, made some connections that I'm still connected with now. And I offered, well, Blake actually asked, he's like, wait, you flew here like yourself? I'm like, yeah. And so he's like, can I get a ride? And I said, sure.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, okay, cool. Like, let's do that after this. And so he goes and talks to other people. I go and talk to other people. And then Pace and Jamil are there. And so people are like congregating towards them to like meet them, right? Or connect with them.
Mhm.
And I'd never met either of them before. And Blake kind of calls me out in front of Pace and everybody saying like, oh yeah, this guy's going to go take me in the plane.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't know you were going to call me out.
Call you out. Yeah.
And I was totally
Thank you,
going to
Blake.
do it anyway, but like it was cool that he was like putting it out there that I was going to do that. I don't know, but so anyway, that's where I met Pace, and we talked a little bit about flying because he was working on. At some point, he said he wanted to learn how to do that and do some flying back and forth from some places out west, and I thought that was cool because that was also part of my dream, right?
Sure, sure. I think his son also is learning. Asher's learning to become a
Asher's
pilot.
learning, yep.
Mhm.
So that's how we met, and then I took Blake on the flight, and it was cool to be able to do that for someone, right?
Sure.
That was his introduction to flying, and we just did a couple laps around the airport. But now he's talking about getting a plane.
Awesome. Wow.
And then there was like the next week was Squad Up, and that blew my mind.
Sure did. That's where we first met.
You were the first person I met in the hotel, other
in the lobby.
than yeah. So the first new connection I made at Squad Up Summit, and then so we met in the lobby. And you know that was a crazy event. So much.
It was amazing,
so much
amazing,
connection, so
crazy.
much networking.
Yes.
Yeah. And you and I talked, I forget which night it was, but just at the bar
like every night.
But
hours.
We stayed at that table for like 4 or 5 hours, I want to say, just connecting about kind of your history and your background. And that led me towards kind of the mission I have around supporting veterans and
that's right.
Formerly incarcerated people, right? And so from there, it was like, okay, I want to filter the room even more and be around the people that are doing the thing, right? So
absolutely,
with like Owners Club, it's been everything's been, you know, in my opinion, fully delivered, you know, in terms of content and training and teaching. It's more than I can handle at any one time, especially doing them all at once. But I'm definitely making strides and learning as I go, right? And more importantly, I'm learning to do it with other people, because I think a lot of us get hung up on like knowing how to do everything before you take any action. And that's great, like to want to know, but if I waited till I knew everything about this, I would never get anywhere. You know? So
and that's great that you mentioned that, because I think I also fall in that category where I want to learn everything, but Pace taught us imperfect action and fail forward.
Yeah. actually, that's kind of how it worked with the flying. Is I bought the plane before I could fly it, and it forced me to learn it, right? Because there was no other way out. So
Right. Gotta
that
land
looked
that
at
plane.
me like, okay, this squat up thing seems legit, but either way, the investment's going to make me work to make it back,
That's right.
the money back. And then I just kept going further and further with owners club training, and like I got to do better about doing some of the homeworks, right? But we're learning more than just like real estate and all this stuff. It's like
Absolutely.
how to run a business, and honestly, it's like how to be a better person in some ways, because you're learning it's not about like the property, it's about the people that live there.
Oh, so much so it's the people we're really learning that. And DJ, you're working full time as well, so it's not
Yeah.
so you have to be able to balance both and finding the time to do both.
Yeah, and that's where like a lot of the scheduling stuff has been helpful. Like I know
Yes.
in Owners Club we've talked a lot about calendars, and that was really valuable training for me, because I was already using Google Calendar, but like I was choosing kind of in the moment how like you have the different layers or inputs, I think he was calling them, in terms of like what's available to you to do that day. And before that meeting, I was kind of just scanning it ad hoc to make a decision, right? But I think there's a lot of value in like sitting down at the beginning of the week and making a plan. And honestly, that first week I found I made a plan, and then I had to adjust the plan a bunch. And I don't know if that'll ever
Absolutely.
go away, but like I was cognizant of like, okay, I'm off. I'm meeting the intention that I set for the week, or I'm not, right? And how
Sure.
much it's shifting. And I think that's just a better metric and way to go about it, because like a lot of the goals I've set for myself in life, it's much easier to do when you're measuring something.
Yes.
To achieve the goal. And so that's a good way to like measure how you're being effective with your time.
And be more intentional. What I found from doing that calendar exercise, now it's going to be a way of life, right? Not just time blocking, but also being intentional on the items that I want on my calendar.
Yeah.
Well, Space said that we all say that we're doing this for family. We have the why behind why we do what we do, but is that on our calendar? Spending time with a loved one, or are you putting that you're going to a movie or whatever, you're part of your family or whatever your intentions are, balancing
Yeah.
that with the money making activities. So more intentional. Are you doing the same? Have you found that you changed and added that on your calendar?
It's always kind of been a part of Michelle's really great at scheduling social stuff
I'm sure.
for
Yes.
us. So like we definitely have that piece of it down. It's more about like managing the rest of it alongside that, or like making a decision to say, and I think this was valuable that Pace talked about as well, is like, okay, like this is the family calendar, right? But like maybe you can't do everything on the family calendar, but you can do the important things. Like
Sure.
in his case, it was, I'm not going to be at every dance practice,
Dance.
but for damn sure I'll be at the recital,
Of course.
So it's kind of like balancing that and then talking about the calendar week to week. At my house, I actually had an annual like dry erase calendar back of our door, so that I see it every time you leave the house, right? So you can just
Awesome.
check it there. But I'm working with like trying to figure out how to integrate like a digital version of that, because I update things on my phone, right? But I want other people to be able to see it too.
Sure.
And she has access to it on her phone, I guess, but she
Which is
doesn't
great.
get to do that. So I want to make it so that like I can approach it from my angle, and then she can still get what she needs out of it in the way she wants to see it.
Sure.
Just because I do it on my phone doesn't mean that's how she operates. So. But yeah, so Owners Club, and back to like Squat Up Summit. I connected with some connectors that helped me get into some lending opportunities.
Awesome.
I was able to lend on a fix and flip property out in it's like 20 minutes from my house. So
Oh,
I
that's
felt
great.
comfortable with
It's
it.
in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Here in Wheeling. It actually just listed like 5 days ago.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah. And it looks great. Christy DeMar, she's a Gator actually, but
Okay.
she's an agent that's doing her own flips and needed some gap funding. So that was a great first opportunity. Working with Lance and Jesse Riggins. So that's worked out really well. And then I'm in another couple lending deals, and actually Brian Madsen, another Owners Club member, and I just closed on property down in Houston for veteran co-living. So that's
Awesome. I heard about that.
wrapping up the renovation.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So putting my money where my mouth is, right?
That's right. That's right. And I know veterans is definitely, like you said, near and dear to your heart. So
For
as well
sure.
as mine. So that's great. Would love to
Absolutely.
hear more. We'll definitely have to bring you back and find out how that renovation went and how everything went. But go ahead. I digress.
Oh, not at all. So yeah, I'm excited about that property, and then some of that money is coming due early this year that I have out right now. So I'm kind of looking for what I'm going to do next with it. I'm debating whether I need to continue to lend it out or if I can get into some co-living opportunities kind of closer to home.
Okay. So you're looking for closer to home. With the co-living property you just purchased with Brian, are you a lender or partner on that one?
I'm a
PML or
partner on
PMP?
that one. PMP.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to operate that, and I was the funding partner for that.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing more about that. So
yeah, me too. I'm kind of hoping to learn how to operate, and I know Stephanie Gibson has been tremendous help in the co-living space, and
yes.
I'm learning a lot from her. And actually, another like really valuable mentor to me is Michael Manatsakanian. He's in Sub 2 and Owners Club, and I've been in his mentorship program kind of because there's so much in Sub 2. Like everybody talks about like shiny object syndrome, right? But like
Sure.
at the end of the day, my goal and my mission is around co-living properties to provide affordable housing, which is essentially a buy and hold model, right? And it's similar to what he does. And his whole program, his super investor program, is all catered to his business, and he's been able to build a really robust business for himself, and he's financially free at this point. And so if I can achieve that and do so in a way that's beneficial to other people, like I don't know what else you could ask for, right? So
that's right. Absolutely.
That's kind of what I'm working towards. But his program's been really great for me because it kind of cuts out all the other razzle dazzle that's in Sub 2, you know, like
it just has you focus, streamline and focus.
Here's step by step what you need to do, you know.
That's amazing. Sure. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's next for you?
So actually I went to Ann McNamara's like small town revitalization workshop in December, and she did an awesome job. And I went to that because I met her at the Boston retreat, and we got to talking, and my mission around incarcerated or like halfway housing for formerly incarcerated people and or like veterans or both. Like, unfortunately, there's a lot of crossover there. But we got to talking about how her mission around small town revitalization kind of has some crossover or synergy with mine, in the sense that mixed use property could potentially provide jobs to people, right? She gave me an example of a coffee shop that could potentially provide jobs, and then the upper levels of a mixed use property are typically residential, right? So those could be
Right.
leveraged for housing.
So you house them and then you also employ them. That's a
Yeah.
great strategy. Okay.
And so I went down there and we walked Palatka, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of came up with some opportunities in that area. And then the week after that, poor Anne made her way up to Chicago
In the
and froze
cold.
to death. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have to say she had really legit boots for being from Florida to come up this way in the cold. Like she had good boots.
Shout out to Anne with the boots.
Yeah. But so we walked a couple of towns out my way. And there was one opportunity we liked in Rockford around potential like asset for the VA to use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with that, I kind of got to looking at my town,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a similar building in my town that I want to talk to her about. She's been overseas for the holiday, and just kind of got my mind thinking about different things. So there's
Sure.
an opportunity at a YMCA in my area that I like. It's actually the largest in the country. I've come to find out.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
It shuttered during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but it was in its heyday the largest operating YMCA in the country, and it's been shuttered since then. And it's like 20 minutes from my house, so there may be opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking at a couple of apartment buildings by my house that I think could be leveraged in this way, that I need to run by Stephanie and some of these other people that have been helping me figure out how this is all
The
going to work.
space and how it works.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm kind of shopping right now, and also getting in touch with like people that are operating halfway housing in my area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So still kind of
You,
some connecting, kind of feeling things out, but
you're definitely moving forward and taking steps. So that's awesome. With the lending and then also the co-living strategies that you wanted to work with. So it's all about networking. And what's awesome about the community that Paces built and Owners Club, we have everything we need. I mean, you're connecting with Stephanie, who's an Owners Club, Michael, I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, and Nara. I know she's doing awesome stuff. I think she's in Ireland now. So you're making moves, dude. You got a lot going on.
I'm trying to buy into this who, not how concept.
Who,
And
not how.
I'll
Yes.
say credit goes to Jill Jensen on that for telling me about that book. But trying to just break that mindset of like having to know everything before you take
Mhm.
action, because
Absolutely.
you'll never move the needle that way.
No, you don't. It takes a community, right? It takes a team, and that's what we have. We have that community within Owners Club.
And I think that's what drew me to real estate to begin with, is it is
Mm-hmm.
more of a collaborative thing, right? Like everybody makes money when
Mm-hmm.
the deal closes. So everyone's
Absolutely.
incentivized to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, there's competition for the different properties and things, right? But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, like your team is incentivized to help you, and I think that's an important thing to make it work,
Sure. Mm-hmm. So going forward, I mean, you got a lot leveraging yourself into the co-living, into lending. Where do you see your vision in 2025?
So my 5-year goal is to house 1,000 veterans and formerly incarcerated people. And with this first property, we'll be at about 7 or 8. So
Awesome.
I
Okay.
need to start making some traction on my long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I think a lot of my journey's been around like meeting people, and I'm kind of at a point where like I have the network, right? I just need to build out like what's the plan and
Mm-hmm.
kind of sell the plan. So I
Yes.
know with Owners Club, we're getting to a point where we're looking at building pitch decks. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually was able to help Stephanie with hers for the deal maker.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I kind of got to get away from like the high level idea and like get actionable concept out there.
Concepts and taking the steps to achieve your goal. So starting off, it looks like Squad Up Summit was where it kickstarted this journey to joining Owners Club, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so for someone just starting on in real estate, what would be the one thing, like looking back, and what would you tell that person to do? They're just getting started in real estate.
Just getting started. I feel like I'm still just getting started, right? But
I think we all are at some point.
go to your local meetups. Sub 2 is probably some of the best money I've ever spent.
Yes.
It's all about finding the right people to help you learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait till you learn everything to get going. Is kind of what I would say to someone that's new.
So joining a community, going to areas, meet up, and connecting.
Yeah.
Because real estate is a relationship business, as we know. It's all about the people.
It's a relationship business. And you can just leverage someone else's experience, right? Find someone doing the same thing you're doing or that you want to do and find out how you can help them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't just ask, like, teach me. Find something of value you can do for them and do it, you know?
Exactly what Pace says, right? Provide value. Don't just ask and take and take. Provide value first, and it will come. That book, Go Giver, was very a great read. Did you read that one?
Go Giver, yeah, that was interesting, and I know that's come up at Squad Up and a couple other places. So, but yeah, that was I've felt a lot of that in this community, right? Of like people doing that and living it, and so that's really nice to see. More so than I guess outside, which is kind of why you want to be a part of it, right? But
Absolutely.
yeah, Go Giver, and I know Caroline tells people to read Asking Questions the Sandler Way.
Sandler Way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, believe it or not, I had a history in sales, and when you do that, right, it's essentially it's a different way of telling you to go find the bunnies, right?
Go find, yeah, yes.
Is what it boils down to. Is like sales isn't about like convincing someone; it's about finding out what they need, right? And that's what you learn when you're talking to sellers. It's like don't get so attached to a single deal. Just find out if what you're offering is going to help the person, and if it is, great, and if not, move on, because there's plenty of people that need help.
Yeah,
you know.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So in your journey, you have Michelle helping you and supporting you. If someone, what would you say for someone where the spouse is not on board? What would you recommend?
Man, I'm really lucky with Michelle.
Yes, she's amazing. Shout out to Michelle. We love her. I need some more bling. I need some stuff. So
yeah, she's been making the bracelets, right?
yes.
So she really doesn't buy into like the whole buying properties piece of it yet. She's happy that I'm happy doing what I'm doing, but like she's not connected to the idea of like, okay, this can help us get financially free one day. Like she loves hearing that, but like she doesn't want anything to do with it yet necessarily. With that said, she's such a people person that like she's well connected. She's probably better connected than I am at this point in the community.
I
Because
saw her at Nita's.
half the people I introduce her to, she's like, oh, I already know them. Like, so that's been
That's
fun.
amazing.
And she's been helping Nita with the meetups in the area. So that's been really great. And the holiday party at Adrian Miller's house.
Okay.
Went off really well. So she's been helping coordinate a lot of that stuff.
That's great. It's great to have a partner that can share in it. I mean, it comes along. It's great that you're working together.
So I guess my approach is to get them involved in ways they want to be involved. To answer your question, like Michelle doesn't care about houses, right? But she's
Cares about
scared
the
of
people.
people and she loves parties, right? So her helping to set up the parties is where she's best served. And she actually she'll be the name tag person at the meetups typically. So like that's how she gets to know everybody. But she loves doing that.
She loves it. Yes.
She's doing what she's meant to do, which is to be a teacher, right? She teaches kindergarten, and she's just applying that in a different way to a different venue, right? But
yes,
she's doing
we
what
love
she
you,
loves.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I knew I connected with her the first moment I met her. So yeah, she's amazing.
Everybody does,
Yes.
I'm very
So
lucky.
yeah. How are you tying in real estate and flying? Do you see yourself flying around, jet setting, buying a G6 and checking out some?
I would love to, right? I got to make
Yes.
more money first. I'm happy to say, I actually made more in real estate this year than I did renting out the plane, which is good. And
Yes.
goal next year would be to make more than my W-2, right? So
Absolutely, that's a goal, right? So
yeah,
and you're on your way. You're on your way. I'm so proud of you and your achievements, and just taking steps, just moving forward. Everybody's success is different. We all see where Pace is at, and he's like, I don't want you to be me, right? You do you.
yeah,
You do your success. So
yeah,
it's great. It's great.
yeah, and that's important to say because not that my achievements are anything major, but like I'm
They are
doing
achievements.
something, right?
Yes.
Small, simple steps is what they say. Like, don't measure yourself against what everyone else is doing. Just make sure you're doing something, right?
Yes, for sure. Well, I
And keep
appreciate
building.
that. Keep building on it. Yes. So, what do you need? I know you said, what do you have? What do you need for others listening to your story and they want to connect with you? And, maybe they have the same vision, co living, veterans, incarcerated. Um, how can they reach you? What do you need?
So I've actually been hosting a Zoom with some people that are doing this across the country, which has been really awesome to see. And most of the people in the group are like just a little bit further along than I am, which is great because I can learn just exactly what they did. And Stephanie and Brian have been attending those. Thank you guys. But it's a monthly Zoom I've been doing.
When is the Zoom so others can join?
That's probably something I should get better at because right now it's like a text thread and I'll say, okay, here's some times for this month, like what works, and then I'll schedule it for what works best for the group. But
Sure.
That's what I've been doing for now. But
Okay.
yeah, you could text me if you want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I would love to have them. We like panel discussions to have experts on different topics. So co-living is definitely my wheelhouse. That's what I'm looking to do with veterans as well. So we'd love to be part of it. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Sure. And how can people reach you, DJ?
I've got my Instagram on here, DJ Starr 8, or my number is 224-392-5654. If you want to text me about that Zoom, I'd be happy to include you.
Awesome. Any last minute jewels you want to drop?
I want to hear about what you've been up to.
We'll have to schedule a separate Zoom for that one. It's been, I just want to say, this journey, I mean, from meeting you in April, Squad Up, to joining Owners Club, has totally redefined and reshaped who I am, and my trajectory has just changed being in Pace as well. So thank you for that and for being such a good friend. I appreciate you. There's
I
just so
appreciate you.
much.
You were the first person I connected with, and you're a very valued friend to me. So I
Thank you.
appreciate everything you're doing. And, a great friend to me too. So thank you.
You and Michelle both. So, last question: when you were growing up as a kid, what was your favorite Christmas toy and why?
Oh man, favorite Christmas toy. I was into for a while. The first thing that comes to mind was like the Power Rangers things.
Yes, my brother loved
Back
those.
in the day, they were
Mhm.
apparently very hard to come by, and I was
Mhm.
fortunate that my mom somehow figured out how to get them. So I had the Power
You had
Rangers.
all of them, all the color. What was your favorite? Who was your favorite Power Ranger?
Oh man,
All of
I
them.
think red was my favorite color at
Red.
that point. So
Okay.
probably the Red Ranger. But
That's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing that. I know it was Christmas time, it's the
for
holidays, and
sure,
just everybody loves sharing that. So,
for
well,
sure.
DJ, thank you so much for being on here and sharing
Thank you for having me.
wisdom, sharing your journey, and I'm so excited and looking forward to all the great things that you're going to achieve. You, Michelle, changing the world, and I know you're going to achieve everything you set your mind to. So, thank you.
Thank you, and you too. You're inspiring, doing all your socials here and getting yourself up and running. So I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
couldn't do it without the community. It's
you.
the push that I needed. So thank you, Pace Morby, thank you, Jamel, and thank you everyone in Owners Club and everybody that has connected with me. So I appreciate everyone. Much love. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.